Hello, I'm Kenny from Albot, here once again for Filmtools to talk about the C500 Mark II. Now, we've released two different videos about this. One was just an unboxing, which you don't get a ton of information about. And then another, I was talking about features that I liked and things that I noticed upon, about a week of using it, just kind of checking it out. The number one request we got was, let me see the footage. So that's what this video is about. I'll dip into things I learned about the camera itself as we go, but mostly we're just going to be talking about the look and the files that we make. People's number one concern was that they wanted to see real projects being shot. They wanted to see not just sort of afterthought test footage, but real, this was made for a purpose footage. I did my best to oblige there, and that is how I like to test equipment, by just taking it out and using it. But when you're sharing footage, you do run into the problem of NDAs, or just not even being allowed to. So what I did with my friend Sienna Lennon, a local photographer, she does like fashion and clothes and that kind of thing, set up two test shoots. One was an actual shoot for Aviator Nation, a clothing company in Venice, and one was just a strict test shoot for us to try some things out. So they're not strict cinematic on sticks narrative work, but I tried to get something with intent at least. So the first shoot, the Aviator Nation shoot, was in Laguna Beach, and it was pretty quick. So I just stuck with the BPA 60 battery. It lasted me the whole shoot. And as you can see here, it looks fantastic. I shot 6K RAW in 48 frames per second. This gave me a sort of dreamier look, but not too slow. 60 may have been going overboard. Plus, I like just being able to say, oh, it's half speed. So that was nice. The negative, as it were, that you get is insane. I mean, look at this. There's so much dynamic range here. On the note of working with it, I tried to load the proxies into Premiere and connect them to the RAW files, but come to find out in slow-mo, the RAW files don't get a audio track, which makes sense, but the proxy files actually generate 4 blank audio tracks. There's just nothing on them. And that means that Premiere can't connect the slow-mo video with the slow-mo proxies. So I ended up having to do the edit and resolve, which was just fine, but there is that to note. When you shoot normally, not slow-mo or fast, the proxies and the normal files sync up just fine. So no workflow problems there. Okay, so actually on the subject of the proxies, I'll take that off. I wanted to say that they're insane. I went back just to take a look at the proxies because, again, I didn't use them. I just edited the RAW files, or edited with the RAW files. Upon further review, the proxies are amazing. They color up great. You're getting a 2K output of a 6K image, basically. It is 2K, meaning 2048 by 1080. They look amazing. It's still saving as a 420 8-bit H.264 file in a MXF wrapper. These are C-Log 3, so we're not getting the full dynamic range, but I think that might be a fun separate video. How far can you just push even the proxies in the C500? So anyway, wanted to run that by you. I came upon it whilst editing the video that you're currently watching, so I'm going to go back to... When we're sidelong to the sun with the reflector on the side, that's when the image really started to perk up. And even backlit, you still got plenty of information in the shadows on the faces to bring up and sort of adjust as you see fit. During that shoot, I was just hand holding the camera. I had my little Red Rock handle on the side, just mounted straight into the camera body. And I was using a 24-105 Canon lens, which... because I was shooting RAW means I wasn't able to use the in-body image stabilization, but that lens is stabilized, so that helped me out a little bit there. In the follow-up shoot, I was able to run this bright tangerine left field cage with my handle, which I'll connect and show you because I like it, and a Nikkor 50mm manual lens and a anamorphic adapter. Once again, I was handheld, and the cage here, this bright tangerine cage, really helped me out because I was able to just hold everything like that, and it's very sturdy, so that was nice. So what the plan was is we were just going to go out into the desert and find nice looks, and Sienna was going to take some nice beauty shots, and I was going to try to string together a video. I shot on the oversampled 4K mode, so it's the 6K brought down, which is super nice. Saved to the 10-bit 422 XF-AVC codec to the CF Express card. And obviously, you don't get as much room to play in the DI as you do with RAW, but damn is it close. I didn't notice any weird rasterization in like the skies or anything like that. No banding. I could really push the image around a lot, and it was great. I will say it's better to overexpose a little bit with the Canon sensors than to underexpose. But if you're kind of near the middle, you're good to go. Make sure to monitor with the LUT. Trust your eyes. Generate your own LUT, by the way, for monitoring, because then you'll know exactly what it's going to look like. Not like, oh, that looks too contrasty, but I know when I get in the grade, it'll be better. Like, just be sure, and it only takes a little bit of time. So I have my own custom LUT in here, and so I used that, and it worked great. We got a lot of different looks because we were in different locations, which I loved. The anamorphic look is great, especially on a large format sensor, even in this hobbled together sort of way that I've got it here. As I said, on the beat shoot, I used the BPA 60, but one thing I did learn is that if you do have the Canon battery in the back of this, when you do use 12 volt power, you can actually hot swap them. You've got your cinema battery plugged in, you're like, oh, we're running low. You can just, if the Canon battery's in there, just swap out the cinema battery and keep going. So that's a really nice feature that I don't think anyone knows about. Things I struggled with honestly had nothing to do with the camera. The stabilization did a really good job. I was, clomping around in the desert over sand, over rocks, over bushes, and everything came out pretty decent. Definitely better than just strict handheld. And it tends to smooth out pretty nice in Resolve or using warp stabilizer. I did note that the stabilizer could get jerky if it wanted to latch onto a subject or an object and then you turn really quick or get bumped or something. It can jerk around, but it just looks like you got bumped. It doesn't look necessarily artificial. I don't know if the audience would notice, but you might notice. Like I said, problems that I ran into were my problems, not the camera's problems. Double focusing to begin with, and then just using my thumb and middle finger to focus the tiny little lens was difficult, but I feel like I got it done. I would love to get a real anamorphic lens on here, like an Atlas or something, and see what that looks like, because it would be a bit more of a cohesive image. The Anamorph X adapter is almost like a really fancy filter in that it imparts a look, and especially because it's a 1.3 stretch, it's not too aggressive. I want to get a 2X in here, which would be great because the C500 does have anamorphic modes. And the other thing too is the stabilizer, if it can't talk to the lens, you just type in what lens you've got in the menu. So you say, oh, hey camera, this is a 50mm lens and I've got a 1.3X squeeze on it, and the camera goes, thank you for that information, no one ever talks to me, I'm kind of lonely, and you go, no problem, and then it does the math for you and stabilizes it thusly. I have received a lot of questions about how this stacks up against the Alexa, and specifically the Alexa LF, so I'm going to be doing a separate video about that on the Owlbot channel soon, so keep an eye over there, because that's kind of going to go into a huge deep dive on the two cameras, and I do think it is a worthy competitor, or B camera, or in some cases replacement to the RELF, but that camera is insane, and it's also 60 grand just for the body, so there's just, it's different, but everyone wants to try to take down Goliath. So that's a different video. For now, loving this camera, and I can't wait to shoot some more narrative or commercial spec type stuff with it, which I will be doing in the near future. I hope that was informative. I hope you enjoyed the footage. Thanks once again to Aviator Nation, Sienna Lennon, and Kara Solik for being a part of it. And thanks again to you for watching.